Alright, so it is Super Bowl night. And it's gonna be wild tonight. It's gonna be wild. Now, it's gonna be an interesting game. I mean, looking at it tonight, um, it's gonna. We don't know how it really gonna go, because you don't know what you're gonna get from the Chiefs, and you don't know how the injury report's gonna turn out at the end of the week for Philly. Depending on who may or may not play. Because right now I think there's one or two guys that may or may not, like Landon Dickerson. You don't know. But it's going to be a good game regardless. I mean, Mahomes won the MVP. I argue there's better choices, not just Hurts, but we'll leave that one alone for now. That'll be a postseason thing um, when I talk about those awards. But it's going to be interesting. I mean, you look at the Chiefs, who they had to put Harmon on IR a week or two ago, and they have injury troubles at their wide receiver spot. So what are they going to do? How are they going to counter this defensive front Philly has? Are they going to be able to handle the multiple defensive linemen that can really get to the quarterback? No matter if it's Brandon Graham or Ndamukong Suh or Linval Joseph, like you've got all these guys in between them that can get to the quarterback efficiently. You got to worry about Bradbury, Slay, CJ, CGJ. I mean, and you got so much to worry about on defense. And if this defense can't necessarily hold Kansas City, I'm sure the offense can keep up. Getting the ball to guys like A.J. Brown, Miles Sanders. I mean, you can go anywhere with this offense, and Hurts can only get healthier since that game, since the playoffs started. Hurts can only get healthier, and I think it's likely he has. It's like there was a chart I saw floating around of Hurts' accuracy before and after the injury to certain spots, and I get it. He's having a little more trouble after the injury, but playoffs are a different beast, and it counts week 17 the playoffs as those games. The playoffs are a different beast. I would have separated those, and then it's a whole story. I don't really look at that chart. That chart, I was like, all right, I'm gonna toss that one away because I don't. It doesn't put this into full context, and that's just something I've seen floating around a bunch. But Kansas City is a team that they don't have the greatest receivers, but they play a great offense because you have Andy Reid there. So they try to utilize those receivers the best they can. I think they're gonna try to come out aggressive. I don't know how. I can't necessarily say how they're gonna come out because it's gonna be hard to prepare for a team like Philly. It is. Um, Hopefully a punt doesn't hit the sky wire this time. Camera wire. Um, it did last week. It really did last week. And hopefully the roughing isn't that bad because they put in the guy that a ref with the most penalties this season. Why do you put him in the Super Bowl? I don't know, but we'll see. Now looking at Kansas City, they're not much of a rushing team. Um, the percentage of rush plays is 25th in the NFL at 38.06. So you're probably going to see somewhat of more pass coverage type. You're going to see a lot of zone, a lot of man. I don't know if you're going to necessarily stack the box as much because you're not playing as dominant of a run team as you have in previous games. Um, they're 10th in rushing TDs, but the way it signifies their yards and everything, I have a feeling those might be red zone rushes. Average almost one per game. Now their defense against running is good. They allow 4.5 yards per rush, and that's 19th in the NFL. That's the thing to watch. Do they give up those chunk plays, those 5 yard plays that can really get you moving? Um, and their pass defense is really good, but their defense has struggled against the pass. Opponent pass plays 62.58, 31% or percent 31st in the NFL, but they're allowing the 21st completion percentage at 65.52, and they're giving up 36.8 passes per game for over 220 yards. They're 22nd in percentage of interceptions thrown for the opposition with 2%, and they're good at getting to the quarterback, 8.15% sack percentage. They struggle as a field goal unit. 78.38% of their field goals go in, so if Philly pins them deep, they have a better chance than on most teams of a miss from their kicker. Now, they don't take away the ball a lot, but they throw less interceptions in percentage wise than they take away from their opponent, and they average 1.3 takeaways and giveaways per game. The takeaways are around mid-level for the NFL, and the giveaways is at number 12. Now, they aren't a bad penalty team, but they do allow a decent amount of penalty yards per penalty and per game. So that'll also be something to watch. Are they a team are they going to struggle like San Fran did against with the penalties? Because San Fran bailed Philly out on multiple instances with penalties. So we'll see. I mean, it's going to be an interesting game. The halftime show is probably not going to be anything good because it's Rihanna. How did we go from a couple bad halftime shows to one good halftime show for once and then another bad one? I don't know. But we'll see.